Hi, I'm Steve from Listen Audio in Shrewsbury. Today I'm going to take you through how to set up a Planar 3 turntable from Rega. You've made a great choice with the Rega Planar 3, arguably the best turntable under £1,000. So where you position your Planar 3 is crucial. You need it on a flat, rigid, level surface. It needs to be level, that's key, otherwise the arm will not move freely across the record. We're using a hi-fi rack here, which is ideal, or alternatively you can use a wall mount, and both systems will try and isolate the turntable away from vibrations, particularly through the floor. When you get your Planar 3, it'll have various bits of packaging around it. There'll be a cardboard slider underneath the platter to protect it, which you need to remove, and then a bit of red tape around the arm, which you again need to remove before the setup. So you'll get to a deck that looks like this. While we've got the platter off, I'm just going to show you how to adjust the speed of the turntable. So at the moment the belt is on the top of the motor and runs around. If I need to play, and that's for playing albums, if I need to play singles, then I move it to the lower notch on the motor, just there, and that will play singles. And then play albums again, just on the top notch. And it's as easy as that. Okay, now we want to put the platter on. So you grab your glass platter. Mine's got a few fingerprints because this is our demo one, so yours will hopefully be a bit cleaner. And then put the felt pad on the top. We've got a lovely red one here, but yours will probably be black. The next stage is probably the trickiest, and that's to balance the tone arm and set it up for playing a record. When you get out, this should be set to 0 in terms of the weight adjustment, and underneath the anti-skate should also be set to 0. First thing to do is to make sure you remove the stylus guard so that you're adjusting it without the stylus guard in situ, otherwise you'd be balancing it with the wrong weight on the end. You take your counterweight that should be in the packaging and you push that on to the end of the tone arm, as I'm doing here. So I'm just going to get that on a little bit more before I unlock the tone arm. And it's just a friction push. So at the moment, if I let the tone arm go, you'll see it's just going to stick right up in the air, which is no good for playing a record at all. Now if I put it all the way to the end of the stop, there, it just falls completely flat, and you can see it's just trying to push itself down. So what I want is a floating arm where it's sort of balanced like a set of scales. So I'm going to pull that back a bit, or just pulling it off on the friction there. Way too much. Still too much. And still too much. Right, now we're beginning to get a floating arm, if you can see that. That looks pretty good to me. Maybe a little bit more on. Yeah, neutral buoyancy, as divers would say. Right, so once you've set up your tone arm and it's completely balanced, then you need to put the tracking force onto the stylus. You'll find the exact tracking force that you should set in the literature in the packaging. This one is on least 2, so this needs to be 1.75 grams. So there is a 1 and a 2, which is the grams, and I'm at the halfway notch, so that's 1.5, and I'm going to go halfway between that and 2, so that's 1.75. Underneath then I need to set up the anti-skating, and again, a good rule of thumb is to put that at the same as the tracking force weight. So I'm going to push that right up near to 2. And then you're set up for playing. To set the record playing, the on and off button is underneath the plinth here. We'd advise just to give it a little gentle start as you switch it on, and that's to stop the belt wear and reduce that. If you want, you can double check your arm weight with the weight gauge if you wish to ensure everything is set up perfectly. This will help optimise the life of your stylus. The Planar 3 is upgradable with the Neo power supply unit, which improves both the sound quality and means you can change the speed via the power supply. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, please like it and consider subscribing to our channel. If you're in the area, please pop into our shop in Shrewsbury and say hello. Else, go to our website at listenaudio.co.uk.